Alrighty, so today we're going to be going over the winter forecast, and one thing I wanted to mention is this map is not subject to copyright restrictions. So now let's jump into the temperature forecast, and you can see I forecast the northwest to be above average, and also forecast much of Montana, you'd say I guess central Montana, southern Idaho, southern Oregon, extreme northern California, northern Nevada, the panhandle, I guess, of Utah, and western Wyoming. Now, we can see that there's darker shades, and I wanted to mention that the darker shades do not mean that you will see more below average temps. They just mean that I have higher confidence that the darker shades will experience below average temperatures. Now for the east, the light blue kind of, I forecast to have, medium confidence that they will be below average. And the dark blue, I have moderate, I guess, confidence. And then in this dark blue, I have high confidence that they will have experiencing below average temperatures. Now, in this yellow and orange shaded area, I forecast them to be pretty above average. So I know the desert already is really hot, but I forecast them to be even hotter than they normally are. Now with the snowfall, we can immediately notice that these areas in the south have below average snow, are probably gonna experience below average snowfall this year. Now, I know in the Rockies you're probably not gonna notice it much because the Rockies already get a ton of snowfall. And also I know the deserts already don't experience much snowfall, but even though they may not experience that much snowfall, they're probably not even gonna experience any snowfall this year. So that's probably going to be pretty average for them. Now taking a look here, we have, I forecast above average snowfall for much of the north and northwest and northeast of the nation. So a lot of the north and east of the nation. Just remember, the darker color does not mean you'll experience more snowfall. It just means that I have higher confidence that you will. So, things can change really fast. One thing that is notable is the weak ENSO. So the weak La Nina is probably going to make the jet stream go kind of, weaker than it normally would. So it might have weaker La Nina characteristics, as it's forecast to even lean towards neutral maybe. So the jet stream, it may not be like a typical La Nina, but it also is gonna be a weak La Nina, well, at least according to forecasts. Now these areas up here, I forecast to be cold and snowy. This is the overall trend now. I forecast the areas in the dark blue to be cold and snowy. The areas in the light blue I forecast to be cold and slightly snowier. Now, the areas down here I forecast to be a bit warmer and less snowy than they normally would be. Now, getting over to the National Hurricane Center, so they're showing an area here, 40% chance development over the next 7 days. Francine, a post-tropical cyclone Francine, sitting over northeastern Arkansas, and then Gordon, and then this thing right here, the disturbance now has 0% chance of development. And Gordon is expected to move westward and then shift a little bit northward. So That's Gordon. Might be something worth keeping an eye on. I do not know. I'm sure the National Hurricane Center has more info on that. I was told to give them credit, so credit to the National Hurricane Center and NOAA for this graphic. You should go check them out. They're a really great resource. I'm sure they have more information on this. And another thing I wanted to mention is EpicPen. EpicPen is the digital pen I'm using on screen here. See this toolbar from EpicPen, really great resource. You might even want to consider trying EpicPen Pro. You can get additional features than the free EpicPen. You can get lines, circles, squares, and arrows, on-screen text, fading ink. You'd get whiteboard and blackboard. You can get even more colors. So it's really worth checking out if you're interested in getting an on-screen pen. Alrighty, well that concludes my video, and I will see you in the next video. I forgot to